Good morning. Hopes everyone's off to having a great day. Thanks for joining us for the 5th Annual State of Downtown Breakfast and Awards. I'm Kalai Chalk with Nonstop Local. Excited to be with you this morning, celebrating my favorite place in Spokane, downtown. And we want to thank Brett and Caroline for kicking off the festivities this morning with a preview of what we can expect at the Blessings in Disguise Festival coming this July to Downtown Spokane. Now, it was a great way to get us started this morning. I know I want to catch them in July. You probably do too. And so we're going to make that happen. I want all of you to take out your phones, take a look at your screens, and then you're going to share this morning's conversation with hashtag Spokane is downtown and hashtag why downtown Spo. That's in your social media posts today. Be sure to also tag the important profiles like at Downtown Spokane. All right, later in today's program, one of our posts will be randomly selected to receive a pair of VIP tickets to attend Blessings in Disguise in the festival. Music, free tickets, VIP tickets, and all of you. So this is going to be a great morning. Round of applause for everyone who showed up today. And this is my first speaking engagement where we've had actual teleprompters, and so this is my test, and we're going through it together in real time, okay? I know that DSP has been working hard to make today's program a celebration of this momentum of not just in the last year, but the last 30 years across downtown. 3 decades, a tremendous milestone for an organization in particular, one that has been so instrumental to the day-to-day experiences that we get to enjoy downtown. We're all fortunate to benefit from your hard work, the DSP team, so thank you so much. There are many people in the community that appreciate what you do for downtown, so let's take a moment to thank the sponsors and the supporters who invest DSP's programming and make great events like today possible. So please join me in thanking today's leader sponsor and founding DSP member, Kohl's Company, as well as champion sponsors, Aldrich Advisors, Boughton Construction, Goodale and Barbary, ICCU, Spokane Transit Authority, and Washington Trust Bank. Thank you. Downtown Spokane is special for many reasons. One of the greatest is its physical location. As you're being served breakfast, please turn your attention to the screens to join us in acknowledging this indigenous land.
Catch suchumepelem u catch na mutum lu she tulauch spokins. Kutis putem lu stuulius. Yatin gulau who heads quests lu stuulius boosts. Lu hol smim eats. Lu hol in kalius stutis. U lu hol hetziat lu she sheet ma scaliu tost quepum. The Spokane tribe historically inhabited more than 3 million acres of eastern Washington, making their homes along the banks of the Spokane River and its tributaries. As Salish-speaking people, the Spokane tribe shares a linguistic heritage that extends from western Montana and northern Idaho across Washington to the Pacific coast and into Canada. The tribe's diet historically relied heavily on the resources of the river, with 60% coming from the abundant salmon and steelhead. This abundance allowed for neighboring tribes to partake. Today, we honor and pay our respects to the Spokane, who have cared for, protected, and continue to steward this land for thousands of years. In Spokane, you belong here.
I'm always in awe of just what a special place this is. And thank you, Visit Spokane and Spokane Tribe of Indians, for sharing such a beautiful message. All right, it looks like breakfast is making its way to all of you, so we're going to get the program started now. Please join me in welcoming Dana Harbaugh, the 2026 Board Chair of the Downtown Spokane Partnership and CEO of downtown-based NAC Architecture.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome. On behalf of Downtown Spokane Partnership Board of Directors, I want to thank you for joining us at our 2026 State of Downtown Breakfast and Awards. It's an honor to stand before this room that's filled with business leaders, investors, community partners, and champions of downtown Spokane. We have several elected officials with us this morning, and I'd like to take a moment and recognize them for joining us. A few folks from the City of Spokane: Mayor Lisa Brown, Michael Cathcart, council members Michael Cathcart, Sarah Dixit, and Katie Klitsky from the city. From Spokane County, we have Commissioners Chris Jordan and Josh Kearns, and Assessor Tom Konis. And from the Washington State Legislature, Representative Susan Schmidt and Senator Marcus Riccelli. And representing the office of Congressman Michael Baumgardner, welcome Dan Brisby. So I think I got everybody in the room. A round of applause for our elected officials. Thank you. You know, being here reflects something important. It's about a shared belief in the future of downtown and a shared commitment to downtown Spokane's success. This year's gathering is especially meaningful as we celebrate the 30th anniversary of Downtown Spokane Partnership and the Downtown Business Improvement District. For me, this milestone is also personal. I can vividly remember as a young boy from Montana in the early 70s, walking through places like the Crescent and being completely awestruck by the experience. Downtown felt like something that was special. It was a place of energy, activity, and a lot of possibilities. For 3 decades, the DSP has served as a steward and advocate and a catalyst for downtown Spokane, supporting economic development, placemaking, public safety, and partnerships that have shaped a stronger, more vibrant, and more resilient downtown. As board chair, and previously as the chair of the Downtown Business Improvement District Ratepayer Advisory Board, it's a lot to say, it's a privilege to serve alongside leaders who care deeply about this community. While downtown Spokane, like so many across the country, face challenges, we have much to celebrate. When I moved to Spokane in 1994 as a young architect, just as the Business Improvement District was an idea in formation, downtown was in a very different point. There was real uncertainty about its future. What stood out then and still stands out today is this community's willingness to step forward, invest, and believe in what downtown could become. Over the past year, we've seen encouraging signs of momentum. New businesses are opening, bringing energy, investment to our urban core. Visitor activity and foot traffic continues to grow, reinforcing confidence in downtown as a place to work, shop, dine, live, and connect. We continue to see investment in housing, hospitality, entertainment, and public spaces. Our event calendar is busier than ever, and our cultural assets continue to draw people from across the region. Downtown remains the economic and civic heart of Spokane. Our community continues to choose downtown for business, for experiences, and for connection. A thriving downtown does not happen by accident. It happens because organizations like the DSP provide essential services that create clean, safe, and welcoming environments. It happens because businesses invest, residents build their lives here, and partners work together. And it happens because people like you believe a strong downtown Spokane really does matter. Having spent my entire professional time in Spokane, working downtown, I've had the privilege of seeing that transformation firsthand over the last 32 years. The progress hasn't been easy, it hasn't been linear, but it's been undeniable. Downtown today is stronger, more dynamic, and more resilient because of the collective effort of people in this room and those who came before us. So this morning's program, we're going to highlight that progress, the opportunities that are ahead, and the people whose leadership continues to move us forward. A little history. As cities like Portland, Seattle, and Denver were successfully revitalizing their downtown cores after periods of decline in the late 70s and 80s. Stacy Coles suggested the novel idea of a bid, a dedicated area where business and property owners are assessed a fee to help fund maintenance, improvements, and promotions. This might be the answer to challenges facing Spokane's downtown. Fortunately, Stacy wasn't alone in his desire to rejuvenate downtown Spokane through the creation of the bid. Larry Soren and Tom Barbieri were beside him advocating for the importance of downtown. When they established the bid 30 years ago, with more than 80% of property and business owners in support, they brought an internationally recognized economic development tool to Spokane. This widespread support helped the DSP find its feet quickly to carry forward its mission of creating a downtown that's better than what was expected. You know, it's hard to recall, but there was a time when iconic gathering spots like the Fox Theater, the Bing, the Davenport Hotel were potentially destined for the wrecking ball. It took forward-looking private investors and the voices of groups like the DSP to save them. The DSP has also become a key voice in discussions that would eventually give rise to the University District, to the Entertainment District, to Kendall Yards and the North Bank. Besides marquee building projects, the DSP has also been critical in creating and supporting the events and places that we've made memories that many of us have cherished and valued over the years, like the First Friday Art Walks, the holiday traditions, and support for both national brands like Apple and Nordstrom, as well as locally owned businesses like Bustango, The Onion, Barrister, Indaba, Indigenous Chic, many others. So DSP reminds us that downtown has something really special to offer our community. As we reflect on the last 30 years, we recognize having an organization like the DSP to bring people together and do the work of the bid and advocate for our downtown is essential. I know that with the DSP and its dedicated staff, we have more critical work to do to ensure downtown will thrive. This is a community filled with individuals and organizations that have a legacy of leaving an impact. 10 years ago, the DSP began recognizing these efforts with the inaugural Legacy Award that first recognized Stacy, Larry, and Tom. Since then, the award has annually continued to recognize the change makers, dreamers, and doers that truly make an impact in downtown. So, in a year marked by anniversaries, it's fitting that this year's Legacy Award is presented by DSP's founding chair, Stacy Coles, president of Coles Company, and Larry Soren, former president and CEO of Kimley Haygood. Please join me in welcoming Stacy and Larry to present this year's Legacy Awards.
Thank you, Dana. Am I close? Whoa. Good morning, I'm Stacy Coles.
And I'm Larry Soren, and it's a privilege to be here today with you to celebrate 30 years of the Downtown Spokane Partnership.
When we came together all those years ago, we had a simple but powerful belief that a strong downtown is essential to a strong Spokane. It was an honor to serve as the founding chairman of DSP when the organization was established in 1996. At that time, we knew downtown faced challenges, but we also saw tremendous opportunity.
So what follows has been 30 years of collaboration, investment, advocacy, and relentless commitment. We've witnessed hundreds of millions of dollars in public and private investment and revitalization of downtown. Through economic cycles, changing markets, evolving community needs, the DSP remains focused on one mission: creating a downtown for everyone.
As somebody who was there at the beginning, I have to say first, the idea wasn't my idea, but figuring out how to make it happen was probably the thing. I could say with pride that the impact of this organization has exceeded anything we imagined 30 years ago. The Downtown Spokane Partnership story is ultimately a story about people who invest in Spokane, believe in Spokane, and work every day to make our city better.
So that's the spirit that is exactly what the Legacy Award represents. The Legacy Award honors a company, organization, or individual who has left an enduring mark on our city through positive, sustainable transformation in downtown Spokane. Recipients embody visionary leadership, creative problem solving, grassroots initiative, innovation, and partnership. Their contributions strengthen the fabric of our community and often inspire further growth and investment throughout the city. This year's recipient perfectly embodies these qualities.
For 50 years, the Lilac Bloomsday Association has done far more than organize a race. It has created one of Spokane's most recognizable traditions and one of the most celebrated community events in the nation. What began in 1977 with just over 1,000 participants has grown into a world-renowned event that has welcomed well over 1 million participants throughout its history. This year, Bloomsday celebrated its landmark 50th running, drawing more than 40,000 registered participants from across the United States and around the world. The event generated significant economic activity for downtown businesses, hotels, restaurants, and retailers while showcasing Spokane to a global audience. Bloomsday is known for how it transforms downtown Spokane into a place of celebration and achievement. It has introduced countless visitors to our city, supported local businesses, promoted health and wellness, and created memories shared across generations. This connection between Bloomsday and downtown Spokane is inseparable. Both are rooted in the belief that community matters. Both demonstrate the power of bringing people together around a shared experience. And both have helped define Spokane's identity while contributing to the vitality and success of our urban core.
So, like the DSP, the Lilac Bloomsday Association has built its legacy through partnerships, volunteerism, innovation, and an unwavering commitment to making Spokane stronger. Their legacy has become woven into the very fabric of our city. So please join us in congratulating the Lilac Bloomsday Association.
And to let people know, Don, he just conducted it, and he talked about it. And there were several people that thought this would be great. They wanted to just get something through the streets of Spokane. The first Bloomsday, the first big surprise that many people came out, about 1,500 people, something like that. It seemed to have caught on from the very first run. It grew and grew. Some years it grew by 8,000 people. So the bug had bitten.
We're moving in the right direction.
To grow to that volume of people, it's amazing. Having it downtown brings people downtown. It's the heart of the city. I think it puts us on the map. And I think it's brought a lot of the community together. That's the beauty of it. People want to be part of something. This is one event you can be a part of. So if you don't run or walk, you can be a volunteer. It's a big, big celebration.
This is what Bloomsday is all about.
Oh, no kidding.
Every person out on that course counts. I thank Bloomsday every day for the opportunities that it gave me. I don't know where that 50 years went.
All right, give him one more round of applause. Congratulations. There's so much to love about downtown and its legacy. Looking back at all who've been recognized by the DSP over the past decade, it's incredible how many people and organizations are doing great things that we all get the benefit of enjoying. So thank you. All right, today's theme, past, present, and future, seems fitting. We've looked back at the last 30 years, but what's happening over the past year? Where are we right now? Emilie Cameron, as President and CEO of the Downtown Spokane Partnership, tells us, what is the state of downtown?
I'm gonna make sure I'm presentable for you. Today is an exciting day today because we're here in downtown Spokane.
The energy is just great. It's very lively.
I tell everybody, if you've only seen Spokane from like the freeway, you have to check out downtown.
I grew up from here. We're all from Pennsylvania, actually.
I mean, I have downtown memories that started in '79 when I moved here.
I have a lot of fun memories from like downtown Spokane.
Since then, it's really evolved.
It's changed massively.
It is feeling more like it's got its own personality.
And it's kind of nostalgic for me. It has all this like interesting charm.
You're having community come together and support more local businesses.
You know, Spokane
Has like a certain vibe
Vibe to it.
Almost every weekend they have an event going on, family event, culture event. It's super inclusive.
Diverse cultures seem to feel a little bit more comfortable here than in 9F1 years ago.
different types of food, culinary arts, if you will.
Variety is like a melting pot.
I like the community and the events around here. It's like really fun.
There's so many things to do.
It's becoming cool real fast.
I mean, this is where we community. This is where we get together and do cool shit.
Oh, my.
I love it.
The only challenge will be there's an influx of people that are moving here. That's a good thing to have.
Watching it develop the last 10, 11 years has been pretty inspiring.
I really have embraced the lifestyle and the people here. And downtown is a vibrant part of that.
It's almost like a pearl. A pearl is not automatically shiny. So this city is kind of like that. You got to shine it until it gets brighter and brighter.
Well, good morning. Thank you. It's great to be here with you today. And I don't know about you, but I think downtown's looking pretty shiny these days. You know, there's something really special about being downtown in this place where our community comes together. There is no other place like this in our city. So today, as we reflect on the next 30 years and how the last 30 years shaped downtown, I'm reminded just how special this downtown is. It's a term that comes up a lot. This place is special. 30 years ago, a group of civic and business leaders came together, they looked at downtown and they saw possibility. They understood something that remains true today, that a strong downtown doesn't come to those who wait. A strong downtown requires vision. It requires determination, creativity, investment, and people who are willing to come together and look at something bigger than themselves. This morning, we have a unique opportunity to think about downtown's future and what it's going to be. At a time when so much of life is happening online, I appreciate that downtown remains one of the few places where people can still come together to be connected and inspired. This is more than just a collection of buildings. Our downtown is our skyline, and that skyline is our identity. This is where we come to celebrate victories. It's where we welcome visitors, where we build businesses, jobs, and we share experiences that define Spokane. In fact, the moments that we treasure most are happening right here in downtown. It's the social center of Spokane, and last year, more than 2.4 million visitors attended more than 220 events, conventions, entertainment, and sports activities, as well as cultural programming right here in downtown. That's 17% more than 2024. That is a number we should celebrate. And you heard about the 40,000 people who ran Bloomsday. Well, there were 71,000 visitors here that day, making almost $20 million in economic impact. And as Rose and Visit Spokane will tell you, these aren't just big numbers. They represent hotel stays, restaurant visits, retail purchases, jobs, and they replace taxes that residents have to pay otherwise. And for a downtown restaurant owner, a major event means more than just a busy night. That can be the difference between doors staying open or closed. So we want and need visitor spending in downtown. This is so that downtown can be an economic engine for Spokane. And don't just take my word for it. Datify did a study of over 100 downtowns across the country, and they confirmed that our downtown captures 1/3 of all citywide spending right here. That same list rated downtown Spokane 25 out of 100 downtowns, and 9% better than the average West Coast downtown. So yes, we are doing well. And thanks to River Park Square and the businesses that we love, they are performing significantly higher sales, and 44% of that citywide spending that's happening downtown, it's not even by Spokaneites, it's coming from outside the Spokane metro area. When downtown benefits, it is the success of Spokane. And annually, the city is receiving more than $240 million in tax revenue from downtown. It's $1.6 billion in assessed property value, and 14% of the city's businesses are located right here in downtown. In the last decade, we saw 1.2 billion, I always like to say that, billion with a B, public and private investment. You have a guide on your tables today that looks at some of that investment. This is supported by more than 4 million in commercially leasable square feet space. 4 million commercially leasable square feet. That's more than a dozen commercial and event venues. And this isn't just part of the economy, it is driving the economy. So in many ways, you could say that downtown Spokane is setting the tone for Spokane. But as our economy is changing, we have to talk about the real state of downtown. It's not just about acknowledging the strengths and celebrating how far we've come in the last 30 years. We have to look at the challenges. Our office vacancy remains nearly 30%. That is the highest number in almost 3 decades. Employee visits are down. And meanwhile, our retailers are facing costs and customer concerns about their own personal finances that is making it hard to fill empty spaces. And these are challenges and realities that the entire country is facing, but these are realities that we have to also be concerned about. And it's not just because it's something that's a national trend. In Washington state, we have trends that are unique to us that are making doing business more challenging than ever. So while building employer confidence and filling vacant spaces has never been harder, know that a healthy downtown needs that commercial base, and it's something we have to be intentional. That is the tax base for our city. It funds essential services across every neighborhood. So the question before us isn't about, should downtown evolve? The question needs to be, how is it going to evolve? We already know that high-quality workplaces are crucial in attracting and retaining talent, and downtown-based companies like Clearwater and Washington Trust Bank are making investments in creative and attractive places to work. If they're gonna pay to occupy space, make it the best it can be, and not just inside, outside. Place matters just as much as that office. And if we're going to say that we want a vibrant downtown, we need an environment that's brimming with activity, foot traffic. That is what breeds successful commercial districts. It attracts employees and it restores confidence. For Spokane to be confident, we need more people downtown. Specifically, we need more people living downtown. Today, there's only 3,000 residents who call downtown this neighborhood, their neighborhood. We have to be aggressive and we want more. We need more projects like Spokane Falls Tower, now selling on the North Bank, like Cause on 4th, that's bringing workforce units, and soon the Jefferson Norman that's breathing new life into the West End. You know, last year we did a housing study with the city of Spokane, and it found that we need approximately 3,200 market rate units downtown just to reach a healthy mix of housing inventory. Today, there's fewer than 200 units under construction. But guess what? There's a lot more planned, but we need even more. So what that means is we have to look at how we create a place, not just where people can work or play, but where they can live. And what are the tools that are going to reduce the cost barriers so that we can make that happen? We have not exhausted all the incentives. Let's look at how we expand market rate MFTE programs in downtown to 12 years, stabilize utility rates for commercial conversions, and as the city updates its comprehensive plan, focus and prioritize housing in downtown. We have to take advantage of every lever to create that urban neighborhood that we want to see. This shouldn't just be a place where people come because they have to. This could be a place where people come because they want to. There are a lot of factors that contribute to creating a downtown that's enticing for visitors to explore and locals to enjoy, but time and time again, the topic of safety has been one of the most important factors. It influences the perception of downtown. Fortunately, we've seen progress in this last year, and then we should celebrate the city of Spokane. The Safe and Accessible Spaces Ordinance has made a difference. This was supported by the DSP, and it's a tool that's helping to address behaviors that negatively impact our public spaces, our residents, and our businesses. And outreach teams and the expansion and opening of the Daytime Navigation Center, those have been game changers. But it's not going to be enough to confront the scale of the challenges that we're seeing. Concerns about disorder, public drug use, illegal camping, and street-level impacts are real, and we still hear about them every single day as a reason why people aren't spending more time or more money in downtown. Without attention or intention, the most vulnerable are going to continue to suffer on our streets and our sidewalks, while our businesses who have given us their heart, their livelihood, they are going to continue to struggle to survive. Apathy can be a very easy fallback when we don't know what to do or the issue can feel way too overwhelming. That doesn't have to be our fate, though. That's why the DSP is going to continue to advocate for policies and investments that make a visible impact, things like the foot patrols by SPD and other outreach opportunities. Downtowns across the country are seeing success when compassion is balanced with accountability. The link between public safety and public health is absolutely, unequivocally undeniable. Our involvement in these issues has led the DSP to partner with GSI, the Greater Spokane Valley Chamber, Waters Meet, and Avista Foundation to convene the Safe and Healthy Spokane Task Force, something that I hope you've heard about. This is where, over the last 9 months, 40 regional leaders have come together with expertise spanning the full spectrum, as well as individuals with lived experience, to build actionable recommendations for our region. Despite coming from different perspectives, they arrived at a shared conclusion. Public safety and community health rise together or not at all. A safer Spokane depends on a system of care and accountability, and a healthier Spokane depends on effective public safety systems. The task force looked at the entire system and they built a comprehensive, interdependent framework of strategies that can improve safety and health outcomes for everyone in our community. And I know there's been lots of questions about how do facilities fit into these recommendations. So I want to be very clear about the DSP's perspective. Our current facilities do not meet the needs of our community. Spokane needs a jail, but a jail alone will not solve the issue. This is not an either-or conversation. This is an and. Next week, when the task force releases its recommendations to the community, to our elected leaders, the DSP is going to champion them because downtown's future relies on the urgency of action, and I hope that you, too, will rally for downtown. When people get the help they need and our community is safe, it sets off a chain reaction of positive outcomes that enhance the overall quality of life for every single person in our community. Downtown is the reputation engine for Spokane, not just the economic engine, and that's why the work of the DSP remains so important. You heard a little bit already this morning. For 30 years, we've managed one of the longest running business improvement districts in this state. We've helped to keep the bid clean, we've helped to keep it safe, support the businesses here, promoted the people, the places, and the programs that make it special. We've activated our public spaces, advocated for investment and transportation improvements, and we've brought people together around a shared vision for our city center. We know from Main Street America that businesses operating in districts with a strong downtown management organization, like the DSP, perform better than those without them. They have better revenue performance, and they have higher confidence. There's that word again, confidence. That is essential. When we think about 30 years ago, you heard about some of the projects. Imagine if there hadn't been the confidence to push forward ideas or projects like the restoration of the Davenport, the reimagination of Riverfront Park, the development of the University District or Kendall Yards, even the podium or One Spokane Stadium. Could you imagine what downtown would be without them? Frankly, I'm glad I don't have to, but these projects tell us that this is a community that repeatedly chooses to invest, repeatedly chooses to say, yes, I believe in downtown. So to the leaders who made that possible 30 years ago, the momentum, thank you. Stacy, Larry, Lisa, so many of you in this room today contributed to that vision and got us where we are today. But know that no single organization can solve downtown's challenges alone, and no single organization is going to create that future alone. The story of downtown continues to be written every single day by each and every person in this room. 30 years from now, another generation is going to come back, gather, and reflect on the decisions we made today. Our future does not have to be determined by the challenges we inherited. Instead, let's determine how boldly we're going to respond to them. My hope is that they will look back and they will say, this was a time that Spokane chose optimism over uncertainty, action over complacency, and collaboration over division. Let's envision that possibility. We can dream more, we can dream big. This downtown is our community's greatest asset. And I will tell you, it's gonna take every single one of us to be a champion to turn that into the Spokane that we know it can become. Let's make sure that this downtown, this day, is the best it can be, and tomorrow will be even better. For me, that is my why, and why I'm here, and why I champion our downtown. So thank you.
All right, thank you, Emilie. Give her another round of applause. So there's been a lot happening in downtown, a lot of people and organizations contributing and making an impact. And that's why 7 years ago, the DSP launched the Impact Award. It's presented to a company, organization, or individual that has made a significant impact on downtown. The recipients, led by example, took bold steps, and they helped shape the future of our city through their vision, investment, and commitment. Please join us in welcoming the 2025 Impact Award recipient for One Spokane Stadium, Spokane Public Facilities District's Andrew Dolan, to present this year's Impact Award.
Well, hello, everybody. It's nice to see you all here today. What a great event, Emilie and team. We're so thrilled to have you here today. Last year, we were honored to receive the recognition of DSP's Impact Award alongside Spokane Public Schools for One Spokane Stadium. It's my honor on behalf of the Spokane Public Facilities District to pass along that honor to the next Impact winner, Clearwater Paper Company. Investing in downtown helps shape the future, not only of downtown itself, but the entire region we live in. This year's recipient has done exactly that. A vibrant downtown depends on people, employees who fill our sidewalks, support local business, and contribute to the energy that drives our urban core. When major employers choose to invest in downtown, they strengthen our entire community. For decades, Clearwater Paper has been an important part of Spokane's business landscape. As a publicly traded company with operations across North America, Clearwater Paper has continued to choose downtown Spokane as its home of its corporate headquarters. That commitment was reinforced last year through its opening of its newly transformed headquarters, a modern state-of-the-art workplace designed to foster collaboration, innovation, and employee engagement. The investment demonstrates confidence not only in its workforce, but in downtown Spokane itself. At a time where employers are rethinking the workspace, Clearwater Paper has shown time and again that downtown remains the premier focus for their business efforts. Their investment helps support surrounding businesses, brings employees into the city center, and sends a powerful message about the importance of downtown as the economic heart of our region. I do have to brag, Clearwater Paper, here just at the Convention Center, has hosted 8 events in the last few years, since 2022. So again, what a great example of continuing to reinvest in downtown Spokane. For its leadership, its vision, and continued investment in downtown Spokane, it is my honor to present DSP's Impact Award to Clearwater Paper Company.
This award recognizes more than a beautiful office, it recognizes leadership. And Clearwater could have maintained the status quo, but instead they chose to invest in their employees, their culture, and the future of downtown. And that's exactly the kind of commitment that helps move a community forward. The most important investments aren't made in buildings, they're made in people. Clearwater's project successfully did both. They're creating an environment where employees want to be, where collaboration happens naturally, and where a company culture can thrive. And the strongest companies understand that a workplace matters, and it's where ideas are shared, it's where relationships are built, and innovation happens. And Clearwater recognized that they made a meaningful investment in creating a space that reflects who they are and where they're going. When businesses invest in quality workplaces downtown, they're helping create an ecosystem where companies, employees, restaurants, retailers, and other broader communities all benefit, and that's how healthy cities grow. Downtown is the economic and cultural heart of a city. Every meaningful investment here has a ripple effect far beyond the walls of a single office.
Good morning. I'm Doug Kapelke, Commercial Banking Manager at STCU, and I am the chair of the 2026 Downtown Spokane Business Improvement District Ratepayer Advisories Board. Yes, it's a mouthful. It's a privilege of mine to be here today to celebrate 30 years of Downtown Spokane Partnership and recognize those whose commitment have helped shape this downtown. On behalf of the bid board, I'd like to thank all of you, everybody in this room, our ratepayers, business leaders, community partners. It's your guys' investment and engagement over the past 3 decades that have helped made the work of DSP possible and helped us sustain the efforts over the years. That work depends on strong partnerships and the collaboration between the DSP, the bid, the business community, and city leadership continues to play an important role in shaping the future of our downtown. We're fortunate to have a mayor who recognizes the importance of downtown as the economic and civic heart of our region. Mayor Lisa Brown has been a committed partner to the DSP and an active supporter of the work being done to move our city forward. Please join me in welcoming the Mayor of Spokane, Mayor Lisa Brown.
Thanks, Doug. Good morning, everyone. I don't know about you, but I am looking forward to getting to our keynote speaker, Julia Huang. I am looking forward to getting to our special announcement. I wonder if it has anything to do with neon. And I'm looking forward to getting back to those pink donuts so I can take one to my grandson. But I've got a few things I want to share with you. First is gratitude. Gratitude for the great partnership that we have with Downtown Spokane Partnership. Thank you, Emilie, the whole team. The Ratepayer Advisory Board, Doug, everyone on both boards. Thank you for that partnership. Second, gratitude to the city. The city teams and the DSP teams know each other on a first-name basis, are constantly communicating with each other. And so a special thank you. We've got a city table here today, but it's an all-of-city effort, not only to support all 29 neighborhoods, but the very special heart of the city, which is downtown. And that's parks, libraries, police, fire, housing, streets, transportation, developmental services, economic development, all those pieces together. I have always loved downtown. I have loved it since before Ferry's Catering, when there was Au Croissant on Howard. I have loved it since before the M at the Bon Marché, and I have loved it when the Magic Lantern Theater was on Madison, not on Main. But I am particularly committed to downtown now, not just as the mayor, but my family all live, my son lives downtown, Brian and I work downtown. You will often find us here. I cross the Post Street Bridge every day on my bike or walking. We are, I admit, frequent flyers at Atticus, Auntie's, and Durkin's, as well as a couple of other local places. We love catching live music all over the city. I hope and I wonder how many of you are joining us Saturday at Flatstick Pub for the March to the Match when Spokane Velocity takes on Boise. I know Marcus will be there. We love our downtown stadium as well. I've had the privilege alongside DSP of seeing some really rewarding investments in downtown recently. We're talking new businesses like Trailbreaker Cider or Indigenous Chic, talking relocation of businesses that we love like Soulful Soup, and investments by foundational, absolutely central to our city businesses like Washington Trust, and innovative transitions taking place with the Kohl's Company and local journalism. So that's really important because what it signifies is, along with the data, the DSP's data, SPD's data, our housing and homelessness data, we are definitely at an inflection point. And to turn an inflection point into a virtuous upcycle, what do we have to do? I think there are 3 key things. One is continued progress on safe and healthy initiatives, downtown, citywide, and region-wide. Second is that sustained commitment to housing at all levels, but particularly market rate housing and workforce housing, and particularly downtown housing. And then third, economic vitality through activation. And we have some good news on all 3 fronts. First, on health and safety, we've got recent investments bringing back the neighborhood resource officers, the first ever neighborhood resource officer dedicated to downtown. If you don't know Captain Reese of this precinct, Captain or Officer Pavlicek, our resource officer, they want to know you if you are a downtown resident or business. In 2025, we have also begun the expansion of our Park Ranger program. And this year that will continue with 3 more Park Rangers. The Park Rangers are great at responding to incidents in the parks, and that, of course, is the river and the park being a key, vibrant aspect and what makes us unique as a city downtown, but also they free up police officers to engage in other public safety activities. These rangers are first responders and also coordinators and communicators with code enforcement, with DSP and other teams. We are also seeing success on the human services front. Our goal last year was to create outreach teams that could be available in all 4 precincts of the city, and with downtown having a dedicated outreach team. Those outreach teams depend on you to let us know when a response needs to happen. So please, if you haven't already, make sure that you, your employees, your friends and neighbors know to call 311 if they see something that needs to be addressed, a person in distress, illegal dumping of garbage, whatever it is, potholes, the whole thing, anything, you can call 311. And I see some people out here who are of the generation where they are not that likely to make the phone call, so I just want you to know you do it online as well, and our goal is to get to a place where you can just text in the information. We depend on you for that. The outreach teams, I'm pleased to announce, are now operating 7 days a week, not 24 hours yet, but that is our goal. We have a federal appropriation coming our way with the help of Senator Cantwell, which will help us expand those teams, and we have a new 15-person team for downtown ramping up right now. The other key thing is that housing, and I am 100% in agreement. Emilie's already talked about housing and housing specifically downtown. I just want to add that there is a little misinformation about our housing permits. Since 2020, the city of Spokane has permitted more housing units than any 7-year period since the early 1980s. And we want to continue that. With our partners at the Department of Commerce, we have a goal to meet our population growth, the in-migration, and the existing housing gap by creating 2,400 housing units by 2046. So we have our metric, and we know what that means. It means over 800 housing units a year. And I want you to know for the last 7 years, we've exceeded that by permitting an average of 1,000 housing units per year, and we're going to double down on that. I want to thank Senator Marcus Riccelli and others in the legislature who've really helped us put incentives together. So we have some very unique incentives that we can utilize. Our land use team has utilized our multifamily tax exemption, but there are other ones so that if you convert a parking lot or an office building to housing, there are special incentives that you can get in the city of Spokane. The third piece is activation, and this is when people's are thinking the same thing at the same time. A few months ago at GSI, we heard our new president of Gonzaga University, Dr. Katia Passerini, talk about her time in Europe and how she would like to see more outdoor activation in Spokane. At around the same time, we were contacted by Bobby Inslow, one of our great entrepreneurs of Indaba, talking about why not Spo Fresco, where we really double down on being outside during these wonderful summer months. And at the same time, the city team was already working on a package of outdoor activation initiatives. So now those are all coming to fruition. One of those is expanded alcohol use areas. That's brought to us in partnership with the state legislature. So if you are a business owner and you have a liquor license and you want to expand to the sidewalk or an adjacent parking lot or space, we have permits to do that. Second, we have a pilot program for outdoor cafe tables and chairs. If you're not sure about making that investment, you can call up the city and we will provide you with them in order to test out whether that works for you and your customers. And we have our Play Streets program. Thanks to the city council, particularly, you can have a block party, block off the street, and even check out all the things you need to make that safe from the Spokane Library. So we have more to come. We're not going to stop. We want to double down. Our economic development, planning, and development services team is currently working on a whole new package of deregulation and permitting streamlining that will help with building. We'd like to talk with DSP about the possibility of deregulation of temporary activation of spaces while they're in search of a more permanent activation. We are not going to stop. Great cities have great downtowns. Spokane is no exception. In Spokane, we all belong, and we all belong downtown. I want to give one final comment here. I am 100% in agreement with Emilie, and am very grateful to those partners who brought together the Safe and Healthy Regional Task Force. It's a very important effort in our city because a safe city doesn't happen, a safe downtown doesn't happen without a safe city, and it doesn't happen without a safe region. And it's completely true that that convening brought together people who had not been in the same room for a long time, and the recommendations are really valuable for our region. It's not a short report, but I really encourage you all to read it and embrace those recommendations. Contrary to a rumor out there, the city supports all the recommendations. We agree. It's not an either or, programming or facilities. We need both. And if we come together, we can have both. And that will be important for the future of our region because, as the report says, you can't be safe if you're not healthy. You can't be healthy if we're not safe. Thank you so much. I didn't want to take her notebook with me. Sorry.
Thank you, Mayor. Okay, this is a special downtown. As you all know, having leadership that supports it is critical, from elected leaders to businesses, community leaders. They're all critical to the downtown, which is why I'm so excited to introduce today's keynote speaker, Julia Huang. She is the founder and CEO of Intertrend Communications, one of the nation's leading multicultural marketing and advertising agencies. Throughout her career, she has helped global brands better understand how culture, community, and human connection shape the places where we live, work, and gather. Beyond her success as a business leader, she's become a passionate advocate for downtown revitalization through action. And in Long Beach, California, she and her team have transformed their own corner of downtown into a living laboratory for community building, creating public spaces, hosting events, supporting local businesses, proving that vibrant downtowns are built one relationship at a time. As Spokane continues to build on its momentum and imagine what's possible for the next 30 years, we're fortunate to learn from a leader who has successfully turned vision into action. Please join me in welcoming Julia.
I have a little bit of confession to make. When I was invited to speak at this lovely city, my coworker pulled me on the side and said, hey, you know, you have to pronounce the city name correctly. It's not Spokane, it's Spokane. So I am very honored to be here today at Spokane. And aside from being corrected of the pronunciation, recommendation also came in terms of what I should be doing at Spokane. They were telling me that I have to go to visit the 74 World Expo site that is now riverfront, and because it's just a prime example of how to do adaptive usage right. And they also wanted me to take a selfie at Devonport Hotel because it is known as the Hotel of American Presidents. So I have to swing over there and take a selfie. And I'm also very excited about learning more about Innovation Alley, because alley in a city can be the scariest thing or the soul of the city. Paris knows it, Tokyo knows it, Kyoto knows it. So I'm very, very excited about that as well. So as all these recommendations are coming, I was on the airplane, and a friend of mine started to text me and said that there's one thing in your bio that you should not be mentioning at Spokane. And then the Wi-Fi went off. So 2.5 hours, I was freaking out thinking, what can I possibly do in my life to offend anyone at Spokane for 2.5 hours? And I got off the plane, and then it said, do not tell anyone that you went to school in University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. So there it is. Oops. My name is Julia Huang, and I'm a Tar Heel. I'm sorry to all the Gogas fans, but there you go, you know. I wanted to, so I am like, it was introduced, I have an advertising agency, and I also own a small venture fund really focusing on creative properties and creative spaces and creative products. But today I come as a business owner in downtown Long Beach, and also a building owner in downtown Long Beach, to share how the story about how when things can change, just by showing up. I'm just gonna go fast. Oops. There we go. So to understand where we are today, I have to talk a little bit about where we used to be. So this is our building today, but for 10 years in Long Beach, we were located, our office was in a high-rise on the penthouse, and what we had was a beautiful view of Long Beach and could see Long Beach, but we had absolutely no relationship with the city. Every day we will go and park in the basement and then go up to our penthouse and then go home to wherever we are from. And that's very Los Angeles in some ways. And we were in the city of Long Beach, but we weren't a part of it. So when our lease came up for renewal, we started looking at options, and that's when someone told us about a building that nobody would touch. Oops. There you go. It was called the Psychic Temple of the Holy Kiss. A man named William Price, who was a cult leader, in 1905 built this building and used it as his headquarters. His business model was very, very simple. He charged women in 1905 to kiss him, and that's why it's called the Psychic Temple of the Holy Kiss. Now, this business model would have been perfect if it was sustainable, but in 5 years, it went bankrupt, you know, because women said, why am I paying $10 to kiss this guy? So anyway, he went bankrupt in 5 years, and the building changed hands many times after that, and in its final chapter, it became a hotel called American Hotel, a flop house. I was convinced that it was actually a whorehouse, but no one talks about that. But either way, it sat dilapidated for 40 years until in 1989, when the city of Long Beach declared it a historical landmark. The city officially purchased the building in year 2000, hoping a redevelopment partnership would eventually happen. But nothing happened for the next 10 years. I'm sure a lot of the executives and city officials understand the challenges. Then in 2010, the city decided to sell the building to our company, Intertrend, for $1. Why was it $1? Because the official valuation came back at minus $300,000. The building was worth really less than nothing. No one will touch it because it was a historical building. The land was more valuable, but no one could touch the building, so it was minus $300,000. So a naive business person, me, said, $1, woo! And then I just said, okay, I will take it. And then there was a lot of stipulation in terms of what we can do and what we have to, we are supposed to do. But nothing was this simple, because the same year, the state of California declared bankruptcy, and Long Beach Redevelopment Agency that owned the building was dissolved overnight. And the city and the state engaged in what was a lawsuit after lawsuit that was like a really ugly divorce settlement that the ownership transfer was frozen right in the middle of it. And it took 2 full years before we were able to take possession. And after we got the possession of it, I asked the contractor, how long is it gonna take for us to be able to move in? He said 6 months. It took us 4 years. But you know, people ask me, would I do it again? Absolutely, because it went from this to this. And this is now our home, Intertrend on Broadway in Long Beach. You know, if I think about how it used to look and how it is now, I think that $1 and all the agony was worth it. I used to talk to the civic engineer that came and say, you know, we have to straighten this building because of whatever structural engineer would say. And I said, it looks really straight to me, but you know, it wasn't, that wasn't working. But that was basically what, I'm just gonna flip through it and look at, you know, what it looks like right now. And then at the same time, we heard that the theater across the street was being sold. The Edison, which was built in 1917, we weren't able to buy this for $1, but actually a pretty good deal. It has been a pool room, a barber shop, and the last owner was Cal State Long Beach, and they had their theater troupe perform over there. But they did a seismic earthquake check and found that it did not pass a school campus check. So they had to sell it, and they sold it to us. If you ask me, why is it okay for me to have it, and why is it not okay for a school to have it, I didn't ask any questions. But anyway, our block started to look a little bit different. We bought it, started activating it, art shows, talks, small concerts, and our block started to look a little bit different. But we kept looking out the window thinking there's so much more wall spaces out there. That's when we were introduced to Powwow Worldwide, which is one of the most influential contemporary mural and street art festivals in the world. It started in Hong Kong in 2009, expanded to Honolulu, and we asked the founder, Jasper Huang, if we can bring it to Long Beach, and he said yes. So for the past 11 years, we have organized what is now called Long Beach Walls. And we expanded beyond murals into installation and events under a program called Art Renze. So now the full week-long festival carries both names, called Art Renze and Long Beach. And by the way, if you're going to be in Southern California, it's going to take place next week, so please look me up. I will give you a VIP treatment of Art Renze and Long Beach Walls. For this, you know, artists from all over the world who normally show in museums and galleries and sell their art for literally hundreds of thousands of dollars come to paint at the street level, and people volunteer to work alongside artists that they have only heard of and not really engaged. Building owners gave us permission to paint, city expedited their permits, the whole city showed up. And today there are more than 150 murals across Long Beach. So people always ask me, why does an advertising agency finance and organize an art festival? It really isn't just about art or altruism. As a matter of fact, every time I say, oh, I want to do this, our CFO drives him crazy, says, can you please don't, you know, think of all these things? But in essence, we do it because we are business people. Supporting art and culture in placemaking context isn't philanthropy. Creative economy adds to the bottom line, and we see it even, you know, in Spokane as well too. The ROI is proven. Look at Meatpacking District in New York, the Wynwood in Miami. Neighborhoods that were forgotten or dilapidated becomes destinations. In our case, making Long Beach livable and interesting makes our property value go up. It makes it easier for us to retain talent and hire good talent. But as we heard today, creative economy takes a village to build. The design district that now that we have in downtown Long Beach, or art districts like Wynwood in cities, didn't happen because just one company decided to make it happen. It happened because businesses, artists, property owners, and organizations like Downtown Long Beach Alliance and Downtown Spokane Partnership all decided to invest in the same vision at the same time. This kind of partnership is what turns a block into a district and a district into a destination, and eventually a city that people actually want to live and visit. Also, I don't know if you've heard, but Los Angeles' Long Beach is going to host the 2028 Olympics. So Long Beach is also now embarking on a citywide brand identity under Vibe City. It's not just a marketing slogan, but a reflection of what the city actually wants to become. A place with energy, culture, and a creative pulse that people feel the moment that they arrive. So before I wrap, I want to show you a video. It's going to be an annoying video, so please bear with me. On YouTube, this is called The Crazy Dancer. Oops. I think we had enough of that. Okay, but so in every city revitalization story I have ever seen, there's always that one crazy dancer that danced first. And there's always that one courageous person who decides to join them. And then the others join and join and join. And there's this full-on dance party that everyone is going to be talking about and remember. Most people might not remember the first crazy dancer, but they'll remember the party. I don't know who that crazy dancer is in Spokane, but I kind of see. I see that there might be that crazy dancer in this city. Maybe, and maybe they are already dancing, just waiting to be joined. People who show up always make things happen, just like an awesome dance party. 30 years ago, someone in this room, oops. Anyway, it was a very pretty, yes, there you go. 30 years ago, someone in this room was the crazy dancer. Then someone joined, and a whole party started. Happy anniversary, and let's keep on dancing. Thank you very much. I was very honored. Thank you.
That's great. Thank you. I don't know about you, but I feel like dancing a little bit, right? Yeah. Maybe after. Won't subject you to that just yet. But Julia, thank you so much. Your words resonate, right? It's about showing up. It's about caring, it's about being there, it's about being in the moment. And that's really what downtown is about. When I was talking earlier and you heard from the mayor about activation, that is something that we have taken to heart. I am so fortunate the DSP team is creative. from Liz to Brandon, Leah, Kevin. We have a team that every single day thinks about how are we going to make today a better day downtown. And it starts with a personal passion. We want, when we show up to work, we want it to feel good. And how do we do that? We can do that through art and public places, activation through public places. So over the last several years in 2024, and I'm going to invite Mayor Brown and Councilmember Cathcart to start heading to the stage. In 2024, we partnered with the city of Spokane with an idea. The city had an opportunity with the ARPA dollars that were being invested in our community, spread out across a variety of things, but one area in particular was the opportunity to invest in our alleyways, the forgotten areas, the opportunities to create opportunities to explore our downtown. So in 2024, thank you to the City Council and the Mayor, we partnered to start activating alleys. You may have seen it on the alley between Post and Lincoln, the new overhead lights. Hopefully you had a chance to see as we also activated through we had the beach balls over the summer to partner with splash parties with the kids. We've had opportunities around Lunar New Year and other opportunities to keep activating that. We extended that last year, if you were at our annual meeting in February, to the Parkade Plaza. So now when you go and enjoy our first Friday festivities, you have the lights overhead. But we're not done yet because we still have a little bit more art to go. So we have our last piece of funding, and we have a partner. I think I see Chris Bovey's here. So you've seen these signs behind us. We've been inspired for a while, thinking about what could we do next. We've got our last piece of funding, and we want to make sure that we make this a starting point. We've started to activate our alleys. How could we go the next step? So we are partnered with Chris Bovey, Chris Batten of Rencor Realty, the City of Spokane, and we are creating a new alleyway, a full city block of a mural by Chris, starting from Jefferson to Madison, with those overhead lights that have become the hallmark of our alley activations. Yep. I don't have mine, but that's okay.
I love seeing the bigger and bigger projects come to life. We talked about this when I came back from Boise, and we talked about Freak Alley. Chris's newest mural brings the nostalgia of downtown Spokane's historic storefronts and streetscapes to life again, and is going to transform what was once an overlooked service corridor into a vibrant public canvas that honors our past while inviting people to experience downtown in a new way. I'm excited to see how this project will strengthen the pathway linking Monroe Street to the emerging arts district, taking shape to connect visitors to Hotel Indigo, big city art, local shops and restaurants, and soon new downtown housing in the historic Jefferson Norman building. Great cities aren't built only through major developments and infrastructure projects. They're built one block, one public space, one memorable experience at a time.
You know, I think this is exactly what the City Council envisioned when we set these dollars aside, the ARPA dollars for alley activation. When private investment comes alongside public investment, we can make some really great improvements to our community. And by adding light, art, and activity to these dark, underutilized spaces, we are able to create real public assets that feel safer, more welcoming, more vibrant, while also supporting culture, commerce, pedestrian connections, and economic development in the heart of downtown Spokane. And I, for one, could not be more excited to see this come to life. So thank you guys very much for the work that you are doing.
So when we think about alleys, we've talked about this, we want this to be a starting point, right? Every day needs to be thinking bigger, thinking what's the next step we could take. So why stop at just overhead lights and paint?
Could we create an outdoor gallery?
Do you mean like a vintage alley? Totally not scripted. I can do that. So Railroad Alley will now be known as Vintage Alley. I am going to create a public outdoor museum filled with the vintage neon signs that I've collected. This is going to be an immersive public art experience unlike anything else in the region.
So we are so excited because what we've been able to do is leverage the city's investment as well as the matching dollars from the adjacent property owners with Rencor, Hotel Indigo, Lucky Leaf. Thank you for participating. But we are now going to take it to the next level. This isn't just going to be an alley to explore here and there. This is going to be a destination for our region, for people who live here, people who work here. So Chris, thank you. We are very excited that he's starting next week on the paint and the lights. But we have a ways to go if we want to make this alley a true gallery. So I'm going to ask you now to open your programs, look at our screens. The Downtown Spokane Partnership has a tax-deductible C3 organization where we fundraise for projects. You may have seen it in our planters that we do every year. We have other opportunities. So think about how you could contribute, even if it's $1 or a lot more. We'll take it because we are going to invest that and make this the destination project and let that be the catalyst for the next project and the next project. So thank you, Mayor Brown, Councilmember Cathcart, the entire City Council, City of Spokane, Chris, Rencor Realty. We are so excited to get this project started, and I hope you will join us. Thank you. Before I step off the stage and let Kaylee finish us today, I just want to say one more time, thank you to each and every one of you for your commitment to downtown. When we say we need you to show up, we really mean it. And I appreciate you being here, making the time, the commitment, some of you making the investment. We need you to leave today and be a champion. So as you leave this room, celebrate downtown. Tell a neighbor, tell a friend, have them come experience it too. If we can each lift up our downtown, imagine how far we can go. Thank you to the entire DSP team. We have our clean team and our ambassadors in the back who work every single day. Thank you. And thank you to each and every one of you for your support. Thank you.
Okay, this is exciting. So much new stuff to come to Spokane, and it's going to be beautiful. So again, we just thank you so much for being here, being part of Spokane, and we want to thank our sponsors again, Kohl's Company, Aldrich Advisors, Boughton Construction, Goodale and Barberry, ICCU, Spokane Transit Authority, and Washington Trust Bank. Thank you so much. Also, we want to thank our sponsors, including Alliant, Avista, BNSF, Kohl's Company, Davenport Hotels, and Washington Trust Bank. Thank you. By being here today, buying a ticket, you're contributing to downtown, and you continue to pay it forward, figuratively and literally. So thank you to the DSP staff as well, who made this another great celebration and who champion downtown every day. It's a better downtown because of you. And if you haven't posted about it this morning yet, do it by noon today and check your DMs. The winner of the Blessings in Disguise VIP tickets will be messaged later today. Hold your Y cards up high. They're the black cards on your table. Take them with you, share your why, and ask your friends and neighbors why they love downtown too. So thank you for being here with us. It's been an honor to be your MC as part of Nonstop Local KHQ. Thank you so much and have a great Friday.